I'm not a fan in the sense of it tends to limit people more because people, when they do it, they're like, oh, like,
tell me what to,
But I think that we've been doing it wrong for a really long time. And then I'm getting confused. I see myself getting confused. And I'm like, oh, this is why I don't do this.
Yeah. Welcome back to Inside Out. Today is a very special episode for me. I'm super excited to have Uti here with me. So I wrote an intro for you. She was born in Guayaquil, Ecuador, with a love for fashion that started before she could even explain it, and the kind of determination that does not wait for permission. At 18, she flew to Milan to study at one of the most prestigious fashion institutes in the world. She went on to intern at Christian Louboutin in New York, work backstage at Oscar de la Renta shows, and build a community of over 100,000 women who come to her not just to find their style, but to find themselves. She is a style mentor, content creator, podcaster, wife, and mom. She has been through loss, grief, and the kind of pain that quietly reshapes who you are, and she has turned all of it into something meaningful. I took her course 3 years ago and have been a fan ever since. Uti Torres, welcome to Inside Out.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. What an intro. Ooh, yes. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. I have been wanting to have you on from the beginning because one of the first things I did when I started taking courses was the style course, and I loved it. Like, growing up, I was never fashionable. Like, we did not shop. We just had what we had, and like, there was a party or an event or whatever, we were just whatever we had. We never shopped. So I do think I have a decent sense of style, like just normal, but it wasn't something that I ever enjoyed, and I always wanted to. And I also didn't feel like I was naturally good at styling and accessorizing and like playing with my style. And it's something I wanted to do. And I know you speak about, and we'll get into it later, but like how it can be seen as superficial. So I think sometimes people don't even put in that work and effort that it takes, but it gives you so much back. And it's confidence, and it's just enjoying something, like the learning process of it, which is something I'm still doing. But I really enjoyed the course, and I think it's a topic that a lot of women struggle with. Yeah. And that's why I really wanted to have you on. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you for having me. So 2 things I was hearing you, I want to ask. What do you mean you didn't shop? Like, you had clothing. So there was a process, probably not in the sense that you do now, that you are like, okay, I'm deciding, but how did that clothing get in your closet? Because
I don't know.
You had to wear something.
I guess. It just wasn't like something we put time and effort into or energy. Okay. I honestly, it's kind of weird, but like I can't even remember certain details of things. Like you said, obviously there was clothes somewhere, and
it was more practical, functional, more than anything else.
Yes.
Because for me, in my experience, I got a lot of hand-me-downs from my sister. That always made me feel not less than or anything, but it was just weird because it didn't feel like myself always, right? There are things that didn't match my personality or what I wanted to express. I was always very visual since I was little. For me, like, visuals were very important, still are, obviously. So clothing is a big part of that because it's a way where I can see myself all the time. But I had a lot of hand-me-downs. I do have some memories around how it felt when I did go shopping. Like, in very rare occasions, I got to shop for myself and decide. Like, those trips to Miami, we lived in Ecuador, those trips to Miami. Rarely, my dad would be like, let's go to Limited 2. Do you remember that store?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I did, but I don't think I ever bought anything there. I remember going in and being like, wow.
I think I went twice. I think I have them like clearly on my mind. It was like the best day of my childhood or something like that.
Core memory.
Core memory, exactly. Core memory. And it sounds like, even when I say it's like, what are they going to think if I say this is a core memory to me? But it was, because that's just who I am. That's what I enjoy. And I've really worked on getting that judgment out of it. Like, what's wrong about what you enjoy? So I do remember how it felt picking these things. I do see pictures and I know clearly what I picked and what's me and what I wore because it was there or my mom made me wear. So I have all these feelings around clothing and around those memories. And I think that since I was little, I started like building these connections of what it meant, of what it can make me feel, and using it as a tool to make me feel in a certain way, more professional, more feminine, more whatever it is.
Yes.
Right now I feel very connected to pink again, which I had like after being a mom, like I had separated myself from, and now I'm in the process of, well, not literally right now, but I'm open to having a second child. And I didn't realize until recently, I'm like, like this is a connection that I see, that when I'm very in my feminine, I connect to pink. Genuinely, not just, you know, because it's fashionable or trendy or whatever, but like it calls me more, you know? So there's a lot of underworld happening, inner world, how I used to call it, that goes around fashion and clothing and style that most people don't even think about, but it's become my world.
I like also what you're saying. I am a person, I love to switch. So I love reading. So, but I don't like one genre. I like to read a self-help book and then a memoir and then a novel and then like a little bit of everything. Same with music. I like to switch a lot. So seeing fashion in that way where you're playing with it and you're like, oh, I want to feel like this a little bit today and a little bit more like that. I think that's something
that's more you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I do think that you have like a core.
Yes.
And then you play around with the different elements and that's fun. Sometimes and more different seasons of our lives are gonna be called more for certain things. So for a really long time, those first years of postpartum, having my first baby, were more linked to something else, and then I've seen a shift, you know. So it's a pendulum. It goes like, you know, the one way to another, like any other thing in our lives.
Let it flow and like embrace it.
Yeah.
So something that you mentioned about I would call it like my signature style. So I took your course and I learned a lot. And then there's certain things where I'm like, I would love to be super fashionable and have like the accessories and the this and the that. But for me, that causes stress, anxiety, and it's a lot of work and effort.
Yes.
But what I did learn from your course that helped me a lot is like owning my signature style and like developing that. And not mastering it, but just like improving that more and more is what is easier for me, and it makes more sense. Because like I always say this, like I am efficient and effective, like in my core. I like things that are quick and easy. I don't want things that are gonna, you know, stress me out too much. So I think there's always like those moments, maybe like a wedding or a party or a trip where I can like make it a little bit more of a production.
Yeah.
But it's a fine line though, because I feel like now I have just been wearing black tees every single day. Like I don't even wear like different necklines or like it's gotten kind of bad. I think I just have been so busy that I have like, it's on my mind that I'm like, okay, I need to explore a little bit with the black tops, like at least, but I've been wearing black tees and then like black pants or black shorts, but it's still my signature style. I still feel really good in it.
Yeah. It works for you.
Exactly.
That's the most important thing. I think that for all of us, and especially now with social media, there's a lot of comparison, and maybe we should doing more or doing something differently, or look how good she looks in that. Maybe I should, you know, incorporate that, do that, and it just adds more work to our lives
and stress and
anxiety for sure. So of course that has happened to me as well, because even being a style mentor, even more so, people expect something from me, right? So I'm like, maybe I should, you know, have a cool girl style, and that looks like very different aesthetic from me, and it's just not me.
Yeah.
So in my way of doing personal style, which I believe like for it to be called personal, it has to be yours completely, and you need to learn to own it. That you're saying is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So if at some point you start feeling like, you know, wearing black all the time is making you feel not good anymore, then it's the moment you have to switch and shift something around and try something different, but because you are ready for something else.
Yeah.
But there's going to be seasons in your life where that works. Amazing. Great.
Yeah.
You know? So it's a balance and very being in tune with yourself into what works. Some days I really want to work wearing sweatpants or pajamas or something like that. But of course, if I let myself do that for a week, that has also an impact in our mood and our productivity and how we feel. So we have to always be in touch on how all of the things we're doing are making us feel.
Yeah.
So
like
it's
advice.
It's just being in touch and taking care of yourself in a small way every day.
Being mindful of it, intentional. How is it making me feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know you're not a fan of color analysis, but I did mine. And I
What
will
did he say?
So I am warm or dark autumn.
Okay.
And so I've always had like this kind of guilt, because I do wear black a lot, of I'm supposed to wear more colors and more whites and more light colors and like just try to all of that. But I'm always wearing dark. And since I'm a dark autumn, she's like, dark colors look best on you. And then I was like, I don't have to feel guilty anymore.
amazing.
I'm like dark, and I can wear like burgundies or dark green, navy, brown. But now I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do like colors that are dark, and it just makes sense for me. And then like the other day I wore like a pale yellow dress that I have that
I feel like
I can wear that too. Like I don't think there's any color that's off limits.
Yeah.
But now I don't have like guilt when I'm wearing the dark colors.
You just have like somebody told you like, oh, this is why you like it so much, and now like you're like, okay, it makes sense.
Yes.
You feel supported on. It makes sense. Yeah, that's important. And I'm not a fan in the sense of it tends to limit people more, because people, when they do it, they're like, oh, like
tell me what to
wear, and then see how this color doesn't look good on you. It's like, yeah, but what if I find some pants and it's not
that's
up here?
The color. And that's the
like,
color of the pants. Like you're not going to say
like
no.
Impossible to like really. So I find that people are very fixated, and it tends to put you more in a box than to help you, and that's why I don't do it.
Yeah.
But there's science behind it, so of course I believe in it.
Yeah, there's some benefit as long as you're not letting it control all of your choices.
Yeah, and there is people that are very hard to analyze, and it depends on so much.
Yes, and I'm sure depending on the person analyzing you, maybe they give you the wrong analysis.
It's just visual, and we all perceive color differently too. So it's a science, but at the same time it's very subjective. So it's a very delicate situation for me. I just prefer to approach it in a sense of what makes you feel good. And for you, it made you feel good. It has always made you feel good to wear black.
Exactly. It confirmed what I already knew.
Exactly. I just wish that this gives you proof to trust yourself more.
Yes.
To not need that confirmation
it actually
from the outside.
Do that. I was like, oh, there's a reason why I'm drawn to this and why I keep wearing this.
Exactly. And gives you evidence.
And all these people are like, wear white, wear this. And I'm like, and I try it on and I'm like, nope. I keep wearing.
And listen, you would look amazing in like this type of like ivory color. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you have to wear it.
Yes.
That doesn't mean you have to wear it. If you don't feel like yourself, if you don't like how you look, it can look good on you and still you decide not to wear it. Yeah. So that's very important. I think that when we do that, we feel so uncomfortable just because we are not honoring ourselves.
Yes, and that's the most important part, is how the energy you're giving off when you're walking into a room, when you're just whatever, and it's based on how you feel.
You have to honor yourself in every decision you make. It's going to impact everything you do. So yeah, definitely.
So some of the things that I loved about your course that like I wasn't doing before and now I do is the mood boards. So just making mood boards for a trip, for figuring out my style, what season I'm in. Yeah. That was very helpful. And the 3 words to figure out what your style is was also very helpful.
I also struggle with that one a little bit, because it also tends to put people in a box.
But what you said was 2 words.
Yeah.
Like your 2 real words, and then the third is always like an extra. And I feel that too. Yes. I have 2 words. Yes. Mine are classy and sexy. Yeah. And then my third is always like changing.
Yes.
What are yours?
I've thought about this a lot lately, but it's classic as well. I feel that puts in the component of elegant. I like to feel elegant. Mm-hmm. It just feels so feminine, so like natural for me. Even when I'm wearing sweatpants, I just want to have my hair, I want to feel elegant. Mm-hmm. It used to be like this twist and trendy. I think I've gone less towards that now and more to kind of a minimalism situation, more in a practical sense. I've become way more practical and functional. And for me, that of not having the weight of having to look perfect all the time, or you know, having to wear more color or do more stuff or put more accessories on. Like, I want less, but better.
Okay.
So less accessories, but more intentional. I created a whole collection around that. So that's my thing. That's why I say minimalism, not in the sense that we see it, that it's just like very plain. I do play with textures and stuff, but less things on my body.
And we can talk a little bit about your collection, because my most complimented, most asked thing that I ever have worn have been these earrings, which you are also wearing. Yeah. And I love them. And I will say, I know you said you have to take them off and take care of them and blah, blah, blah. I have not, and they are still perfect.
Yeah.
I take them off to sleep so that they don't bother me, but they are perfect.
Yeah, they're really good. I always mention that, because people will go through fire with them, and it's like, don't expect them to function.
No, I know that if something happens, it's my fault, but nothing's happened, and I'm very happy.
Yeah, they're so good. I love them.
Are you going to do any more courses? Is that something in your, or not?
Yes, it is. It's just this year I tried to fit in one of my courses, and since I had this big collection and I have another one coming up, I had to give priority to those two things. And as I mentioned, another big project that we're gonna start looking, it's having getting pregnant at the end of the year, and I did want to schedule a moment in my calendar for that in case I don't feel as good. So I wanted to leave that end of the year a little bit more open. Okay. So this year I don't have it, but I'm gonna start next year in January, if everything goes well, with closet detox. So you can start the year really, strong, clean with that closet.
I'm asking because I think they are so valuable. And I know that my viewers would benefit so much from it, but I also admire about you that you respect your processes, your times. Like, you are not going to overwhelm yourself. You prioritize very well. So, I mean, we get to enjoy your collaborations for now. Yeah. And then the courses, whenever they're available, I'm sure will fill up very quickly.
Yeah. We have Closet Detox is a great one. I think it's a great starting point where you can just put it it's very practical. So you see the change on how you feel just by taking stuff out of your closet, doing a small mood board on your style, kind of thinking about it really quickly. It doesn't go as profound as the other courses that I have, but many people don't have as much time to go
it's an investment in time, energy,
everything. Especially I feel like time. So I think I'm gonna focus more on shorter versions. I want to do like different things on, specifically how to shop online, and like figuring out sizing and how do you get better on that, and then on buying pants specifically, because there's people that struggle in specific things, know. There's people that I cannot find the right pants, and so I'm gonna
the game changer was like, no more skinnies, no more even like straight, like I do like wider now, and it's like has changed my life.
Oh my god. I know.
It's even like when we go shopping, it's like, you're like, I don't know if this looks good. I don't know if that looks good. And then someone's like, no, this looks good because of that. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I have a thing with going shopping with people. I try to talk about this, but I realize how people really enjoy also sharing this time with family and friends and mom, But I think that we've been doing it wrong for a really long time. I think that shopping with other people takes from your style and your experience. Like, my suggestion will always be go on your own when you're actually gonna shop, and then share like
for fun, like a fun day out.
But if you have a mission, if you have a list of things you need to replace in your closet or are really looking forward to or whatever, go alone, because you need to think. You need to ask yourself, how do I feel? Does this fit me? I'm gonna wear this. There's a conversation going on in your mind. So if you keep interrupting it with other people's opinions and views, sometimes we think it helps in that moment, but it's just making like a mess. We need to figure it out on our own first. So
I understand that. Yeah. But I do think it depends on the type of person you are. Because like for me, I am not easily influenced. I don't really ask for opinions for the most part. I know what I like and I know what I want. So if somebody's telling me something, I can say like, yes, they're right, or no, I still want this for whatever reason. But there's other people like,
most people.
My sister, for example, like she needs you to tell her what to buy and whatever. So for people like that, I do agree that first do the introspection in anything, but in styling as well. Figure out who you are, figure out what you like, what you want, and then, you know.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you can...
I think that I'm very sure on what I like and everything, but there are moments, like anyone, that I feel a little more vulnerable to that.
Yes.
And I go with my mother-in-law or my sisters, and they're like, no. And then I'm getting confused. I see myself getting confused, and I'm like, oh, this is why I don't do this.
Yeah.
You know, so I just... You know, again, being mindful, I realize that, and I'm like, I stop, I pause, I think it through. If I'm not sure, I make sure I don't buy it, just because it gets in the way. You trust these people, you love them, you know, you appreciate their opinion. So it's just a very personal thing to me that it's very sacred for me. So I really take care of it a lot.
How is your relationship with shopping? Because for me, I am like, it's so hard for me to buy something because I'm like so picky now, and I'm like, no. So for me to actually be like, okay, yes, this checks all my boxes. It's hard, especially with more knowledge. And also like, I'm very budget conscious. So it's hard for me to like spend and splurge on something that I love. I'm always like, it also has to be a value, like a good value. So it's hard for me to actually like pull the trigger on a lot of stuff.
So, but when you say you are very picky, what do you mean exactly? Like when you say no, what would be some of the reasons?
Because I am afraid of not using it, not liking it later. It's like I need to be so sure that this is a piece that I like the fit, I like the fabric, I like the everything. Because if there's one thing that later, like I bring it home and then I took the tag off and I used it and I was like, then like it's that fear of that happening to me over and over again that I just like, I'm like, no.
Right. So that's more of a fear more than being like picky. Like you're like more, I mean, you're very perfectionist.
Yes.
So,
and I also really like to protect myself. So I'm protecting that from happening to me.
Yeah. Which it comes from fear, you know? And I think that sometimes that can also take us from exploring a little bit. But I do understand that you are also very conscious about what you like. With that, I would try to take fear out of the equation just because it's going to rob you from the joy of purchasing something from yourself. And then just go without any pressure of buying, go looking, you know, and then go home, don't buy anything, and see what stays in your mind. And when you go back, you're like, oh, I really, you know, this, I was really thinking about this, and you keep thinking about it, and then you buy it. But try to like find a way to enjoy it again. I'm working on a project right now, and my whole focus is around women enjoying again going shopping, not only for, you know, not because I want them to consume or anything, but because it's also, I'm, again, like, it's part of who I am, right? And what I like. I love to have these amazing experiences when you go in a store, you are treated so well, you look in the mirror and have fun without criticizing yourself, like the whole thing. And I think we've really lost that. Yeah. I think that when we go to the mall, it's stressful, it's anxious, we're like so, you know, there's so many options. It's just the whole experience has derailed in the different direction of serving us, you know, and even more so in like really luxury brands and Hermes and like all these things where they treat you poorly, but you buy from them, and it's just like, don't get me started. But I'm working on a project on, you know, little by little, just making this experience again nice for us. And even with the collaboration with the earrings, like we put like some perfume on the packaging. It's just like when you open it, and I received so many messages from so many women that are like, I just want to tell you, this was an amazing experience for me to buy. Not only the product, like I can feel and I can see the amount of detail and love that you put into everything. And for me, that's just like the biggest compliment ever, because I want women to enjoy themselves again when they're buying something. If you think about it, we're working and making money, and then we're spending that money in a, in a stressful way. I want women to spend their hard working, earned money. If you work, if you're in a partnership and your husband works, and that's yours too, honey. Like, So I want you to go and spend that money with pleasure and enjoyment and fulfillment.
Yeah, and there's so many options now on how and where to spend your money that hopefully you find brands like that and places where it is very a turnoff when you go somewhere and you feel like your money is not being appreciated, your time, like your choice there is not being appreciated. It's a turnoff. And nowadays there's a lot of options. So it's like, I am very like, okay, I'll go somewhere else. Like
100%. Like, of course I want to shop at all these luxury brands if I see something and I love it and I want it. But if I go in there and they're like just with this attitude and they're telling me I need to buy, more stuff before so I can earn the bag that I want or I can earn it being in the wait list, I'm like, it's okay. I'm not playing that
works.
That works.
Because of the society.
100% it works. I'm not saying it doesn't. Yeah. It's just not like I want to do it.
Yeah, it doesn't work on me.
But beyond that, what I was also trying to tell about when we go in the fitting rooms to try on clothing, it has become such a dreadful place for many women. You're just like, is this gonna fit me? Can you see my cellulite through these pants? And there's so much pain when we go in there and we tried clothing and we're trying to fit in sometimes, in a different size because, hopefully everything that I've been doing has been working or I didn't gain weight or whatever. And we're trying to fit in the S size when we are a medium size. It's just, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. I really want women to start enjoying that process again of just trying clothing, beautiful clothing, and making that not mean anything about their self-worth and themselves. So hopefully I'm working on
that was also part of your course.
Yeah.
It was a lot of that. It wasn't just the styling and the fabrics and the silhouette. It was looking at yourself in the mirror and being okay with what is there. And then, yes, I want to show this a little bit more and I want to cover this a little bit more and, but being okay with what's there. And I think that's, I like mirror work. I don't know if you've ever done mirror work, but I think that's amazing. And I've done it. And also like, I kind of do it when I'm like doing my makeup. And it's like, it's not just about putting the makeup on. It's about like really seeing yourself and loving yourself and thinking you're beautiful no matter what, and the same with styling.
Yeah. This has become this year more than ever one of my main purposes in life. Just, I did a session and I did a breathwork session recently and I had just like this revelation for me. I've been struggling my whole life with self-image. I'm a very visual person, so I think that's very related to it. Just I can see so much more than anybody else can see because I'm a visual. That's my what I sense more, feeling and then visual. I had this session and I realized that I've been caring for a really long time. I've done so many retreats, so many healing therapies in different modalities, some very experimental and everything, and I've always tried to put in the center of it a lot of these healing around my image, my body, the amount of pressure I put myself into that. And I realized recently that it's not only mine that I'm carrying, it's just all the women before me, my mother, my grandmother, the women around me, in my work. Like I've always felt surrounded. I can always feel the pain of other women that are going through the same thing as me. And I was like kind of carrying all this stuff, and it just, I could see much more clearly why I've been carrying all of this and in what way I need to keep working it on myself. I think that I'm going to be working on it for a really long time, but I'm okay with that now. I was a little bit desperate to go
find an answer
and a solution, be over with it, and just like next.
No, it's part of the journey, part of the journey process.
It's part of the process. But I think now I'm owning it, and I'm so happy to be part of hopefully, through my work, sharing some light on these things and hopefully, making women feel better about themselves and their body and the image and their style and
that's
all
a
of
great
that.
purpose for sure. I'm going to do a really quick this or that style edition.
Okay.
Heels or flats? I know there's always like both, but
it depends.
You have to pick one.
I wear more flats. Let's say flats.
Flats. Trendy or timeless?
Timeless.
Colorful or neutral?
Neutral.
Shoes or bags?
Bags. Ugh, that hurt.
Sleek updo or bouncy blowout?
Oh, bouncy blowout. I'm into that lately.
Florals or animal print?
None.
Okay, that's fair.
Lines. I like stripes.
I was going to put that, but I knew that.
That was too obvious.
That's why I was like, let's see which of these. Mini skirt or wide leg trousers?
Wide leg trousers.
Gold or silver?
Both.
Okay.
A mixture of both.
Content creation and building your community. So you have built a community. I think you've done an incredible job because you're vulnerable and you share and you connect and you have 100,000 really engaged followers that trust you, that care about you. How has your relationship with vulnerability been? Because I can share, like, I'm starting my journey of content creation and sharing, and my entire life I was like walls up, like never vulnerable, nobody would see me cry. Like I wouldn't say how I felt. I was just very, very hard to get through. And then the past few years I've done courses, books, like inner work. And now I'm like, I wouldn't say I'm an open book. I still have things that I want to keep private, but I think I've found my power more now sharing. Like I feel like before I was always protecting myself and giving, like, people knowing things about me or saying things about me. Like I had such a fear of rejection. I had, like if somebody said something about me, it would really affect me. Now I'm like, I share and I'm not affected by what people think because I know who I am so much more now. And being vulnerable, I feel like has helped me connect with so many more people, have real conversations, deeper connections and relationships. And I'm very happy to be in this stage right now. I think there's always a fine line, but what has your relationship with vulnerability sharing been?
I think it started with when my dad got sick. I was taking care of him and I was the main caregiver for him. So it was a very lonely ride for me, honestly. I felt like I was just sharing with a friend, with something else. At that moment, my community was smaller, so it felt more intimate. I don't know, I wasn't afraid to share at that moment. I felt like I needed it, to survive. It felt like they were keeping me company in some way. I found that many people were going through something similar, or had gone through something similar, and that made me feel, like I was not alone in it, and this wasn't just happening to me, and it was like, okay, there's like a real world. A lot of people go through this. I'm not alone. A lot of people were praying, and I felt like I was connecting with a lot of people through this, and that felt beautiful. So I kept on doing that it was just at that moment probably very selfish. It was for me. It was to feel connected to people. It wasn't to help necessarily, but it was helping also other people too. Yeah. So that was amazing to see. And I think through that experience, I just saw the benefits of it, the value, exactly, the value of it, how special it was, how it was helping me go deeper with my community. They were learning so much more about me. They were having empathy to not just like people on the screen you're throwing hate at, and a lot of that. Yeah. So I just kept doing it. I realized that it was very healing for me, and at the same time it was very healing for other people. So it has become part of my process in healing different things. There's definitely things, very big things that I haven't shared, and they're joint things to say that it's not only my story to tell, that I also are very private to me and for me.
Respect other people's,
But for me, it has always been the way to go. It's a beautiful thing to see. Yeah. There's I see when I talk about this, I just see like this garden with flowers. It's just it's a gift to be able to connect with people in that way, and to receive that from other people as well.
Well, you do a great job at it.
Thank you.
I want to ask a little bit about your process moving here. When it's time to make a life-changing decision, it's a process. I went through one. I got divorced. And for me, that process was like, first it was an idea.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like, it took time.
Yeah.
But when it was like making that final decision, like that, okay, we're doing this, moving forward and not looking back anymore, what was that moment for you?
Honestly, I fought this decision for 2 years, and I couldn't live like that anymore. It was just very drastic for me. I felt like I was dying. When I say this, I'm not saying it lightly. Yeah. I felt that my soul was dying. So
what was it about? Was it more like cultural, or was it just maybe like the connection to your dad, or do you know where it came from, or it
was a combination of things. Okay. So I really can't like
pinpoint.
I can't say like the why, and I will talk about it, but I can't say specifically this was the only thing. Okay. It was a combination of things for sure. Okay. The situation on the country, of course, very insecure. Yeah. Thankfully, we do have the visas and the permits and all the means to get here. So that was a big part of the decision and being able to do it. But it was just all the way I was living. Because of the different factors around me, I couldn't live like that anymore. I wanted to go somewhere where I can feel safe, where I could have a different lifestyle, especially a different lifestyle for me, for my daughter. I felt like my soul was calling me to be somewhere else. Because honestly, I don't. When I think about it now, looking back, it's not even about the place. It was just like
there was a change.
I needed a change. Yeah. For some reason, I needed to move. Yeah. We actually looked at different places we could move. Miami, partly, I used to live here. My husband used to live here. We had, all the green card situation resolved to be here. It's close to Ecuador. So logistically, it worked, but it was calling me. I tried to not come here for some reason. I also thought that because I'm like, no, like that's predictable. Like maybe I'll go farther away if I'm going to do this. I'm like trying to make it harder for me for some reason. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know you relate to that. So I'm like, wait, no, like this is the perfect amount of familiar but new, so it was definitely a 2-year process. It was a very painful one, a scary one, especially because I have a family now. And what would that mean for my daughter, for my husband,
you're
for
affecting
my
other people. It's not just
exactly.
you. Yeah.
And I was the main source.
Yeah, you were the one. Exactly. Which is very similar to my situation too with the divorce. I was affecting other lives and I wanted to do something and I was the only one that wanted that. So that was really tough. And one of the start of that process for me was actually something else I wanted to bring up with you, which was I went through 2 miscarriages. And it was after my son had been born perfectly fine. And then I went through 1 miscarriage and then I went through a 2nd miscarriage. And then it was like time to try again. But I was already I had already wanted to get divorced. I'm like, I can't now it was like, I need to make this decision. Am I going to move forward with a divorce or am I going to try again? And what I wanted to ask you about your miscarriage, because I heard your podcast and when I went through mine, it was in that time where I was like walls up, very, not vulnerable. And when I heard your process, I thought it was so beautiful. And I was like, I wish I had done things like that a little bit more because I didn't. But I also, I think that was like my life path, my journey. And it is what gave me the strength to move forward. And I mean, there was multiple things, obviously, but like it gave me that strength to decide that like that wasn't the life that I was going to continue. Like I was choosing something different. So yeah.
Wow. I'm just like processing.
Yeah.
Going through a miscarriage and in my case was an ectopic pregnancy, which led to losing the baby, of course. It's just very unexpectedly painful in any form that you experience it. And it was another example of the moments where vulnerability helped me connect with, and still, like, that podcast is the most listened to, most brought back to people.
And it was your first one, right?
It was my first one.
Yeah,
it was my first one. After that, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with a podcast now? Like, this is just like too big.
Yeah, and that it was soon after, no? Like, that was part of your healing process, right?
That was part of my healing process,
which
for sure.
Is amazing.
Didn't know what I was doing at that process more than just going through it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was just like so new, so painful. It brought up like different wounds as well around the relationship with my mom. There are things that I spoke in a recent podcast as well about what happened in that moment, that I felt very disconnected with my mom, and she left on a trip when I was losing the baby, and that was very painful. Like, I was like, this has happened to me, and I feel like I'm losing my mom. Like, what's going on, you know? But it gave me a beautiful gift as well of healing, like, so many things. My relationship with her was due to this, my grief with my dad. So I'm very thankful for that soul and for that baby for giving me so much.
Talk a little bit about Miami. I was born and raised here. I've been here my entire life. I love Miami. It's changed a lot in the past 5 years. What has your experience been so far? What are you excited about Miami? Do you want to stay here for a long time? What do you feel about Miami?
I hear so many different things about Miami. Either you love it or you hate it. There are many complaints, especially from people that have been living here for a really long time. I used to live here from 2012 till 2016, so I got a different Miami than what it is now, for sure. I really enjoyed Miami then. It really felt like home, and when I had to leave, it wasn't my choice. It was because my dad was sick and I had to go back.
Okay.
So when I left, I never thought I had that chapter open, or I had that thing where I'm like, I need to finish, my time in Miami or anything. I never thought I was going to be back. Like, I just never thought about it. Like, something big was happening in my life. I had to leave, whatever. Yeah. And then when I came back, I just love Miami so much. It has given me so much. I'm so grateful for it. I feel like home. I feel so safe here. Not just like safety, like literal safety. It's just like a general,
home,
exactly.
Like the energy is
what you feel when you walk in your home, and you're like, you breathe like that. So it has given me so much. I hear a lot of complaints, and I understand it has changed a lot. It is very inconvenient that I can go to the restaurant that I want, because you also have to work for it and have to know the manager, whatever, and have to have contact and connections. Like, I just want to have a good time. Like, what's wrong, you know?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't change it for the world. I think I experienced a different Miami. I love to go to the beach. I have a very slow life, even though Miami is very moving rapidly and very fast. I think in Miami
you can find whatever it is you're looking for.
Exactly.
So a lot of people that live on the beach or in Brickell, or they're like, they experience one Miami, but there's so much big Miami. I think you could find whatever you're looking for.
No, and I feel like it's like a Hannah Montana life, because I'm like my slow life, school situation, and then I'm like in the fashion industry and content creation and events and all of that. So it's like my little Hannah Montana moment.
I am the same. I'm like wellness and growth and personal development and all these things. And then my husband is in like nightlife entertainment events. Like, so it's like, I am also like totally like dual personalities, but I do them both. I love them both. Like, so it's great. It's actually the best. It's like the switch that I said that I love the switch.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to stay here for long or not. I do think that right now is exactly what my family needs. And I keep telling my husband and everyone that asks, honestly, whenever I feel like it's not working for us anymore, I'll make a change. Yeah. Like, I think that now I won't be as afraid probably I'll be afraid, but as afraid to make
like
those choices.
You can trust your intuition because it led you here and it was what you needed. And if you're supposed to go somewhere else, you'll listen.
I think a lot about my daughter and what she needs, and a lot of people are saying, oh, like raising a daughter in Miami, you know, like I don't know. I mean, I like you. You turned out really well, you know?
Thank you.
So there are many, it depends on parents, school, environment, how you're being raised.
The community that you put yourself, where you put yourself.
So it depends on so many factors. If it gets to a moment where I see there's something like I don't like, I'll change it.
Yeah.
So for now, I'm very happy here. We are planning, you know, in the near future, but then I'm also very open.
Which is a good thing to be in life always.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, because like the whole like work-life balance, I never worked my entire life. Like, no, that's a lie. My entire mom life, I never worked. So as I was...
It is a whole life.
Yes.
It feels like a whole life.
I was cleaning cars, my family's cars when I was 10 years old. I was working in the mall from 15 to like 24, retail. Like I've always worked, but then as soon as I got pregnant, kind of got a real estate license, never really did that, but my grandmother, she raised 7 kids, and my grandfather worked, my grandmother never worked. My mom, she actually was divorced from my dad, and still, he lived in Dominican Republic and she lived here, and she still depended on him. Like he provided for us and she raised us 100%. She was the best mom, but didn't, you know, I never saw a working woman in my life. And that's kind of what I did for a long time. My husband is like the one that really pushed me to do something. And he was always like, you know, what are you going to do? Like, you need to do something. It was more just, he saw potential in me. He's like, I was always like interjecting into his things.
Right.
Because I have great ideas. I'm a very good like decision maker. I make good choices, but I wouldn't do it for myself. I never bet on myself. And then I went through my journey of like learning about myself, and it's really important for me to have a purpose and a meaning behind what I'm doing. I don't just want to make money. Like that is, I want to, you know, have a purpose. And that's what I've figured out, like with this, with the sharing, with the learning, all of that I love. But my number one is and always will be a wife and a mother. Like that is my top priority. Like nothing's ever going to come in the way of that. But you know, you put all this work and effort into building something that, you know, there's a balance that needs to happen. How have you figured out that, or I don't know if you figured it out, because I don't think anyone ever does, but what are your feelings on that so far?
Okay, so no, I haven't figured it out. But right now I have a fresh example of a high intensity period with the launch of the new collection, and I was working a lot. So what I felt is a lot of guilt at moments, especially because the moments that I did have with my daughter, I was exhausted and I was tired, and I really wanted time for myself and to be a couch potato and to not think. And of course, they challenge you. So I did my best. I did my best. I tried to include her as much as I could. And I think that was the most important part for her, and where I felt a shift, and what I feel like I'm gonna keep doing. So what I did at one point, because I was just going to work, and she just saw me leaving, right? So for me, it was like at one moment, I need to explain to her what I'm doing when I leave.
Yes.
You know, why am I not here?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
What does this mean for me? She's 4 years and a half, and I swear to God, she understands perfectly.
Yeah.
So I sat with her one day, and we were playing with her accessories. The good thing is that she loves what I love, so she gets it more easily.
That's great. Yeah.
So we were playing with her accessories, and I'm like, you know, listen, do you know that I've been working with Patty? That's my business partner's name. And she's like, yes, and the brand is called Sanglaya. And so every time that I leave, I go to the office, and we've been designing. So we've been drawing. I started drawing. And do you see this necklace? Like, I designed it, and we did it. And she started asking questions. And I caught her in a very receptive moment. And she was looking to me in the eye, and I'm like, do you know? She was listening, and she was like kind of interested, you know, just listening. And then I'm like, how do you feel when you put your your accessories on, because she puts it every morning to go to school.
Aww.
And she smiled. Like, when I asked this, she's like, her whole body changed. I'm like, you love it, right? And she's like, yes. Well, I make accessories that make people feel like that. Aww. And she's like, oh, I get it, you know?
That's so
cute. It was a beautiful
Yeah.
moment. I think we have to find a way just to explain what we do. I think they're going to sense how fulfilled we are when we do our work as well. But I think that the missing piece for me in this project in particular that I'm going to keep doing is explaining to her what I'm doing, what's my work.
I think that's great advice and a great point.
And she understood it. And now they did a little interview for them for Parents Appreciation Week, and they filmed the children. What does your parent do for work? And when I got Miranda's video, I'm like, what is she gonna answer, you know? She's like, oh, my mom makes jewelry she works at Sanlaya, and she makes jewelry because she wants to gift jewelry to people and make people happy. And I'm like,
perfect.
yes, she got it. It was like
That's
an
very
amazing
cute.
moment for me, you know? So it was.
That's very cute. I've actually been doing that with my older 10-year-old, that he has been my challenge because he's very much like me, and he's made me learn and grow a lot in the past few years. And I love it. I love that challenge. But we've connected so much with the podcast and the YouTube, and he is so interested in asking me, how many subscribers do you have? He helped me. He made my account on YouTube, and he's like always checking up and checking in and asking me questions about it. So, I mean, the little one is still too little to understand this, but yes, I think that's a huge part of it, including them.
Yeah. And even how do you feel doing this, and how, because
sharing like the emotions, and I'm nervous, or I'm excited, or I'm this or that.
Yeah, that helped a lot, and she enjoys it. I show her like the pictures. She came to the pictures.
Yeah, that's so cute.
So I try to include her as much as possible, and then having a lot of self-compassion along the way for the days where you are with her and you feel exhausted and you feel like you're not giving 100%. Yeah. Because I have times where I can't give her 100%. Yeah. So whenever I'm not doing that, I feel like, you know, I'm robbing her of something. Yeah. But also it's a beautiful gift to see your mom, you know, do all these things.
Where can people find you, and anything coming up that you want to share?
Yes. So I'm doing a new collection. I'm collaborating with a brand from Ecuador called Le Maler. And this is going to be my 5th collab launching, my 2nd clothing line launching with the same brand. And it's coming August 12th. We're going to be selling from Ecuador to around the world. It's going to be available online. And I'm so excited. This project has a beautiful meaning behind it. It's going to be called Habítate, it means like, what would be the translation in English?
Like finding where you like live.
It's like it's a deeper, in Spanish it's such a deep word. Habítate in Spanish means like owning, taking ownership. In this case, it's going to be your body. The time that you're living right now is going to be meant to dress the woman you are now, to stop waiting for a special occasion, to stop waiting for your body to change, to stop trying to fit into a size you're not, to just, you know, enjoy where you're at right now and dress for the woman you are right now without the pressure of being something else.
Or waiting
until.
Yeah.
And not feeling like you deserve it. So you're
never going to get there.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, if you don't do this work first, you won't. You have to first.
It's the inner work. It's not the outer. It's not about what you're going to ever look like. You're never going to be happy if you're waiting for that. It's about loving who you are in the moment. This is going so deep. I'm so curious. I'm still working on it, obviously. I'm so excited.
I'm so curious to see where it leads, what happens, what I can incorporate in the whole experience, in the events that I'm doing, that it's going to really make women think if they are respecting themselves every time they get dressed, they're buying clothing, and what ways they can, and I say respect because I've given up, not in the sense of like, oh, I can't do this, but in the sense of, you know what, this is not working, I'm going to reframe it. I've given up in the whole loving your body. Okay? That was not working for me. It was too big It was too much. I carry so many wounds from like so many women before me that haven't been able to love their bodies, that it felt impossible for me, even though all the work that I've been doing around it. So I started reframing it and looking at respecting my body. I can do that. I can respect my body every day. I can decide everything that I eat, how I move, how to work, how to dress from a place of respect.
I love that. And this is a question that I haven't actually made to anybody yet, but I saw and I thought of, and it's like, what is like respect or love? And I think maybe your instinct of people is like to say love, but I thought deeper. I'm like, how would I answer that? And it's like, you can have respect without love, and that's still respect, and I'm okay, but I would never want love without respect.
Correct.
So like respect is so important.
Yes.
And that's, to me, number one.
Yeah. No, it has become like my whole, I'm so looking forward to it now, because it's just that shift. It has taken the pressure off.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
You know, this feels like something I can do every day. So I'm so excited. I've been working on that. I've been working on how to also expand this message and make it an experience, because I do think that when we learn, whenever we hear the theory, okay, to really integrate it, we need to feel an emotion. So I really want to, through all this collection, the clothing, the way you shop on it, etc., you can really feel these emotions where you can integrate this, you know, concept. So habítate, it's like habitar tus espacios. It's taking ownership of your spaces, your body, who you are, what you like. If you like black, wear the black, like all of the things. If you like the stripes, wear the stripes, like all of the things. So it's going to have stripes, actually, a lot of stripes. It makes reference to, you know, the pattern that I have always liked. And it's funny because when you say, oh, I like black, but I'm always questioning if I should wear more color. I always like stripes. And I'm like, should I wear more florals? No, are not me.
Yeah.
I will wear some florals, like on lace and different, like, but if you see my closet, like stripes are my thing. So I want more women really taking ownership of who they are, what they like. And yeah, it's going to be a beautiful, meaningful collection for me. So
congratulations. You are killing the collabs, because you pour so much of yourself into them, and it's very clear and very apparent. So
I pour everything. I just like the whole thing.
Oh, well, congratulations. I'm very excited. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you. And then you can find me Instagram mostly. I do have TikTok. I don't use it as often as all the gurus and coaches say, but I'm on Instagram. That's my main community, Uti Torres and yeah, posting daily content, weekly, sometimes monthly, podcasts, reels, mostly stories. That's my favorite way of communication. It's just more organic, natural, real, in the moment. I find it like conversations, you know, they're in the moment, and then those moments are gone. So I do love stories, and yeah, motherhood, style, and everything in between.
Yes. I have one closing question. I always have a closing question. It's a little deep.
Love it.
What has losing your father taught you about how you want to live?
Oh my God, I know. I think about this all the time. And this is one of the reasons I moved to Miami. I took care of him. It was 2 years of him being ill. And after that, and having my whole life on pause because of it, and dedicating my life to taking care of him during those 2 years, I don't want to miss on life. I want to live very intentionally. I want to create a life that feels like my own. I don't want to waste it. I want to be somewhere and be someone that can live fully. So that's one of the reasons I moved here. I didn't want to waste my life feeling like this is not where am I supposed to be. This is not enough. I don't feel safe. I'm not enjoying it. So I came somewhere where I can, and I am building a new life that feels really, really my own in every possible aspect.
I love that. Thank you for coming on. This was an amazing conversation. I loved it so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. If something in today's episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with someone who needs it too. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep choosing to live from the inside out.